In the matter of 3 months, I grew my Instagram following from 3,000 to 41,000 and booked 2 to 3 calls a day. And it completely changed my business for the better. So, what I'm going to do in this video is really just introduce you to myself and really just tell you about my journey on how I got here. Because everything I'm doing in this newsletter and in videos like this is to help you as a mortgage broker stand out, grow on social media with systems so it doesn't become your life, and really just change your business for the better and for the long term. Let's face it, we've got a lot of things going against us as mortgage brokers. We've got the banks eating our lunch on rate. We've got AI coming into the fold. So it's never been so hard to be a mortgage broker in this industry. But with that being said, if you do stand out and you are one of the best on social media, you don't even have to be one of the best. You just have to be on social and be consistent. Then you will have a thriving business. I can promise you that. So I started my journey realistically in January of 2025, and I started posting maybe 3 times a week. And I was taking it seriously, but I wasn't really all in on social. Me personally, I don't like social media naturally. The only social media I consume is long form YouTube videos or podcasts, if you want to consider that social. I'm not one to scroll through Reels or TikToks. It's just never been my jam. So I typically don't like being on there, but I knew the importance of it because I can kind of see the writing on the wall in terms of where our industry is heading. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to go all in. If I'm going to do it, I may as well do it to the best ability that I can. So I started posting more than 3 times a week. I think I started in maybe March or April, where I ramped it up to 5 times a week. And lo and behold, once I did that, I had one video that absolutely popped off. And it popped off for, I believe, 250,000 views. And it was funny because I was talking to my business partner, Brandon, at the time. I started seeing it trickle up around the 5,000 view mark. And it's like, whoa, this one's actually doing really well. And then I saw someone follow me. And I was like, whoa, this is really cool. And when you're on Instagram, you can see the notification where it'll say, so-and-so followed you from your reel. And I was like, oh, that's cool. They actually watched my reel and followed me. Up until then, I was at the 3,000 follower mark. And what I was doing is I was just following people in my industry or following realtors for that matter, following past clients. And that's how I grew my following to 3,000, just because I wanted to get out of that 1,000 follower mark just to get more eyeballs on my content. So up until then, it was only people following me from me following them. So it was only follow backs. So seeing that first one was really, it was validating for me that, hey, I can post content and someone can follow me from watching my content. So they're interested in it. And I know it's not all about followers, but realistically, you need the followers in order to get the business. And why I say that is because the more eyeballs you can have on your videos, the more virality effect you're going to have. And of course, the more eyeballs, the more followers, the more people interacting with you, the more emails you can capture, the better your business is going to be. Of course, there's other traditional routes of, creating relationships through referral partners and DMing. You can still absolutely do that behind the scenes, and that does work. And we will be talking about that, as we go on here in the newsletter and my videos. But today, I just want to talk about the actual virality effect and how you can grow your following to really snowball things for you. So once that first video popped off, I was like, you know what? I'm going to ride the wave here, and I'm going to continue posting because I don't want to really have this drop. I want this to last long term. And I didn't know if it was going to work or not, but I went ahead and I started posting daily. And from that first video, by the way, once it started really popping off, it was absolutely nuts seeing the followers come in. I'd have to go back to see the stats on it, but I probably got maybe 4,000 or 5,000 followers just from that one video. And it was like rapid fire, seeing all of these followers come in, literally like 2 every minute. Two followers every minute for like days. So that was really cool to see. And from there, I was receiving a lot of DMs, a lot of people interested in what I was talking about. And that one video specifically was talking about the Manulife One product. And of course, you've probably seen hundreds of these videos now in the industry. And it really came from that one video because it popped off. So there's a lot of mortgage brokers trying to mimic that type of content or topic, which is absolutely cool. That's actually one of the strategies that we'll talk about here. So from there, I just started posting consistently. And the really cool part is once one video pops off or you have one video that does really well, that person that even if they watched your video and they didn't follow you, the algorithm knows if that person has sticked around or has stuck around for that video, the last one that you posted. So if they did, then chances are they're going to be shown your next video the next day on their feed. And that's kind of what happened. I saw people following my other videos because they originally got into my orbit from the first video. So it's really, really important that even though you may not be getting traction right now, you need to stay consistent. And I know you've probably heard that from so many people, and I did too. It's like, okay, cool, I get it. Be consistent and things will happen. But honestly, trust me, it will happen if you make 1% tweaks to your videos every single day and just get better and better. Eventually one of them is going to pop off and it'll snowball from there. So from there, I was like, you know what, this video worked really well. Maybe I can post more more videos around this topic of the Manulife One. So I did, and they did okay. But then I branched out into more advanced strategies like cash damming, the debt swap, and eventually today the Smith maneuver. And those seemed to really resonate with people. So I went all in on that. And then eventually I broadened it a little bit and talked more about general finance like budgeting, investing, and using AI to better your overall financial health, and just increasing your income through side hustles and all of that good stuff. So this is for another video, but basically I'm a very big proponent on not just niching down into one certain product or one certain solution, but I'm a big believer in not niching down too much. Now, I know you've probably heard that from so many people, social gurus and other people in the industry, that you need to niche down into one thing. But what's worked for me and what I've seen other creators do in my sort of position is they've broadened it more so they can get more traction, more eyeballs, more followers in through the door. And then naturally that is going to lead to them purchasing your product or using you for their mortgage or using you for your for a home purchase or selling their home, whatever your business is. And that's the approach I took. I said, you know what? I'm going to help people accomplish growing their net worth. And that's the one solution. That's the one objective that I have for people when they watch my content. So that allows me to be more broad with my main pillars. And we're going to talk about different pillars, how to form those in terms of forming the direction of your content. I've got 4 to 5 main pillars that I talk about. And that was the main thing for me, is really narrowing that down and dialing in the main pillars. So I'm not all over the place. I'm not talking about fitness. I'm not talking about food. I'm talking about helping someone grow their net worth. So I might be talking about AI. I might be talking about, here's 3 tips on how to budget and increase your cash flow. I might be talking about cash damming. It all has to do with growing one's net worth. I was a huge skeptic on social media, and I thought, do people actually get business off of social? Do they get booked calls? And it wasn't until these videos started popping off and I was growing my follower base, and I had so many people DMing me saying, I need to do that. I need help with cash damming. That concept you explained, like, how do you do it? I was like, whoa, there's something here. So from there, I had to build systems in order to sustain what I was doing, because the most time that I was spending was through DMs. Not actually creating the videos. And I wanted to maintain the videos, 1 video per day. So I knew I had to create a system without hiring. I didn't want to hire a VA to manage my DMs. I wanted it to be me. So from there, I decided to create a type form where everyone had to funnel through a type form to pre-qualify them before they put a call in my calendar. Because at the start, I was just sending my calendar link to anyone that was interested in, I'll just use cash damming as an example. And from there, my calendar was absolutely slammed for 2 months straight. And I was like, I cannot sustain this. So I created the type form, it pre-qualified people, and that helped. And eventually it was still growing and snowballing, which is a great thing. I'm not downplaying that. But my calendar was still getting full. So I couldn't keep up. And at the time, I was going through a transition in my business where I wanted to go all in on my brokerage, Tango Financial. So it was a natural transition for me to say, hey, I'm stepping away from doing the day-to-day with mortgages and implementations. And at the time, I just hired an underwriter as well, who is a huge help with the day-to-day for the standard mortgage transactions. So that really helped me step away by building these systems, which I am going to show you underneath the hood of like what the systems actually are and how you can implement them in your business. And once I built the systems, I took myself out of the day-to-day process, and now I'm able to focus all in on my brokerage. And any lead that comes in, If it's an advanced strategy, I pass it off to someone on my team within Tango. If it's a mortgage, a straight up mortgage, that goes to my underwriter, and I'm out of the picture from the day to day. So if you are in the mortgage industry and you're looking to grow your brand on social, stick around because there's more to come.